Why do games make progress feel obvious while real goals can make you feel stuck before you even begin? I spent years leveling up characters in games. The objective was clear. I could see the next level. I knew what I had to do to get there. Even when the grind was hard, the game kept giving me proof that I was moving. Meanwhile, my own goals stayed where I left them. I could spend 3 hours grinding a game without even thinking. I could spend hours building something in real life and still feel like I had no direction. For a long time, I treated it like a discipline problem. I don't think it was. I think I was looking at my life as like one big objective with no clear place to start. So instead of trying to fix everything at once, I built one small system around one habit: push ups. Getting back in routine. I had fallen out of my fitness routine. Get back in shape sounded simple until I looked at what it actually meant: workouts, cardio, food, sleep, recovery, consistency, trying to feel motivated enough to keep it all together. And if I kept pushing it till tomorrow, I was still building a future, but not the future that I wanted. I was treating health like one task and instead of what it was, it's a collection of different things. Why games make the next step clear. Games do not show you the full build on level one. You get one ability, you use it, something else opens, you make another choice. The tree grows as you grow as a character, go through the story, or defeat enough enemies. Real goals usually show up differently. Build a business, get healthy, change your life. You can see the final version, but there's no obvious point to place. That's where I was stuck. I was staring at the end game build and judging myself for not being there already. Maybe the problem wasn't discipline. Maybe it was I had no visible first move, no feedback loop, and no proof that today's effort changed anything. Why I built a push up game. Ask the smaller question: what could I build right now that could help one habit become consistent? The answer was push ups. I did not build a complete fitness system. I built a push up game over the weekend so it'd be ready on Monday when I was ready to start back up my routine. The point was not to make the most impressive app. I needed something to give me like an entry point. So, when I didn't feel like doing the workout, I had something to look forward to because it was something freshly that I just built. So, I wanted to test it out and make sure everything works. It has a high score system. Yesterday's numbers say if you hit 8 push-ups, and then today, you want to beat that number. You want to hit 9 push-ups or 10 push-ups. So it kind of gives you something to reach for every day. When you're doing your push-ups, you could see your progress and see if you're getting stronger. That was my whole idea. Not build a whole fitness app, but build the smallest little thing that could change my habit on Monday and help me get back into my rhythm of being consistent. The part that actually mattered. Building the game wasn't the win. Like I said, I could see my scores. I could see whether I was improving. Showing up, stop feeling like I had to make myself. It was like something I'm actually looking forward to because of the push-up game that I built. And then, one staple habit made things feel easier. So, push-ups, when I started doing the push-up game, led to me completing my full workout. At that moment I realized I was like, maybe that's what it is. Like anything that you're trying to start up, you just gotta start with that one small skill point and start somewhere so you can get to that next piece instead of looking at it like you have to do it all at once. You could just take that one small step, take that one skill point, and then branch out from there later. You don't have to do it all at once. After I took a trip to Lake Havasu, 7 hour round trip driving, and I came home tired and still completed the workout. I was still excited to come home and hit the push-up game. I already started being consistent, so I wanted to keep it going. Obviously not a not a dramatic transformation, but it gave me evidence. It still motivated me to get my workout in, even on the day when I didn't feel like it, and I just came back from driving all day. High agency is not confidence. High agency is not walking around convinced everything will work out. I did not know whether the game would make me consistent. Agency is seeing the problem, looking for the next available move, testing it instead of waiting until you feel certain. I could keep calling myself inconsistent, or I could change the system around one behavior and then see what happens. And that's what I mean when I talk about building things for your own life. Don't just automatically accept the way a problem feels. Ask what skill, what tool, experiment, or small system could give you a different next move. Sometimes, it's not going to work out. You're going to fail, obviously. That's the whole point of trying something out and seeing what works for you. Sometimes it's just going to teach you what to try next. So it's like you just keep finding out what doesn't work until you come upon something that does work, but you'll never figure out what does work if you never try. You don't need competence for the whole goal. You need enough competence to learn the next learnable piece. So pick one branch, build one small system around it, get one real piece of evidence, take that one first step, and let it start compounding, and eventually, it'll snowball, and you don't need to become a different person before you start. You just need one small system that gives you the move you can make today and the evidence that it worked. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.